Hi, John here from Fiat Club America. You can reach me at john@bensonfiat.com. Well, I just wanted to update you on my little home project here. This is a 2012 Pop, and as you can see, the back pretty much looks like the same as it always has, but all the action's up front. So let me show you what I've done. This is update number 4, and as you can see, this vehicle has just been painted, and we've got a nice color espresso repainted on this driver's side fender. That's been blended in. The hood has been painted, and it's like I said, that's espresso brown is the color, and so that turned out really good. And then let me come around to the other side, and this is the new fender, so it's been painted as well, and I've also put the fender liners in, so that's ready to go. The washer reservoir is in and connected, and so I put one headlight in on this side, and I'm going to show you the other side. But all the action right now is up on this nose piece. I've got that painted, of course, and I've got the daytime running lights, turn signals put in. I got the Fiat badge in. Just have to put the whiskers on there and a little piece of trim. But I wanted to show you how this kind of goes together back here, because many of you may not have had the nose off on your car, so this will kind of give you an idea. As you know, you've got these 4 bolts up on the top that hold it on the top. That's the I think it's a T25 Torx bit. And this is the daytime running lights and turn signals, and you can see it's got 3 bolts on it, one lower, and then one on the outer edge, and then one on the inner edge, and then you've got the connector right there to hook it up. And so that's the green connector, so this is the one right here, and then this is your side marker light. As you can see, I've got the side marker light lens in already, and all the little quick nuts are already on there and ready to receive the front of the car. And so up here, this is an important piece right here, because there's another flathead screw that this goes through, and it ties in right here on the edge of this fender. There's a thread impression up here, and that's where that, I'm not sure if you can see it, it's right about there. There's a thread impression, and what that does is that's where it locates with a hard fastener the nose assembly. So it kind of tongue and grooves right here. It just snaps in, and then you've got that one screw on each side. So it's the same screw as you put on the top edge here. And I've got a few laying on the battery. I'll show you what it looks like. So there it is right there. That is the exact same screw. So a lot of times people get frustrated trying to take them out because they're actually up at an angle, and so when you take that off, you have to sort of get in there with a with a little Torx bit to get them out. Okay, so now on the headlights, let's take a look at that. So I've got the headlight in on the left side, and it's got basically 4 mounting points on it. It's got this little locate tab right here, and it's got the familiar tab up here on the top. Sometimes they can break if they get an impact, so got to be careful about that. There's another little flange right there that can also break in an accident. And then there's a locator right in here, and there's a thread impression on the back side of this that basically connects this this headlight on that side. So it's a kind of a complicated process, but not too bad. Just got 4 fasteners that hold it in. And then let me show you on this side, on the loose headlight. As you can see, my fingers are on the locating tab, and then you have this lower flange and little leader. That's just a kind of a place marker to hold it for you. And then you've got the flange up on the top, and then you've got the one that is right there. That is an adjustment screw. That is takes a 19 millimeter. You can actually move that back or forth to give you the right angle on the headlight. And as you can see, this is the bolt that you use. It's a long bolt, so you got to use a long bolt on that fastener, and then a relatively short bolt here for the one on the top. And then you've got a bolt that goes into here, and that's kind of what it looks like right there. So you could put that right in there after you locate it. Snap this in, and then there's a screw that I've put in there. You can see how that is. And so that threads into the little impression that's made into the fender. Okay, so now as far as the grill is concerned, that grill snaps in from the back to the front. So basically it's got locate tabs on the upper and lower. So you just land them and pop them in. And then on the fog lights, it's got little blank covers, and you can see a little quick clip there on the top left. There's 2 of those, and then there's a little other locating tab right there. Now, one side note here: if you have a pump and you want to put fog lights on that are just like the lounge model, because this is the same nose piece they use on a lounge, you can actually buy the covers with the hole in them, and then go to eBay and buy the fog lights that will fit. And so then you can kind of take that apart and make it work. I did that on my little black pop, and I'll tell you, it's really great because I wired them into the headlights, so when I turn on my headlights, the fog lights come on as well. So it's pretty cool, and just a nice little upgrade. It won't cost you but I don't know, maybe 60 or 70 bucks by the time you buy everything. So here's the connector for the daytime running lights. You have to connect that up before you actually put the nose on, and you need to connect this right here for your side marker light. There's where the horn is. Not much of a horn. I never really cared much for the horns on these cars. I don't think they're loud enough, but there's a little snap connector right there. You just sort of, pop it off and on. And if you want to do an aftermarket, like air horns or something, I usually mount them up here in front of the battery with a bracket. You can see on the fender liner, this is the door for you to get into access for your daytime running lights and turn signals. So if you have one burn out, that's what you do. Just turn the wheel hard to the, let's say to one side to get the wheel out of the way, and pop this door open, and then you can basically unscrew this like a jar of peanut butter, and inside there'll be 2 receivers. Let me see if I can do this for you. See that right there? So you've got daytime running lights right here, turn signals right here. Very easy to take them out. You just kind of, turn them and they'll come out. I'm just going to leave it in there, but anyway, it's easy to do. Just changing the light bulb is all it is, and most of your auto parts stores are going to carry that bulb. So anyhow, there's the headlight assembly, and one thing about this, it changes the bulb the same way. A number 9012 is sort of the generic bulb that fits in there, and so you just unscrew it. It's just like 1/8 of a turn. There's the connector to connect it up, and then right here is an adjustment screw. You can either take a Phillips screwdriver or I think it's a 5mm, and you can turn it left or right to raise and lower the bulb that's the assembly, so you can raise your headlight pitch up or down. So, but this one allows you to adjust the pitch left or right. So, you've got some pretty good adjustment on these, and just be careful. These are made out of plastic. They're a little bit on the fragile side, so don't be putting a lot of torque on them. Now this ties the lower panel here to your, to your splash shield, and that takes a Phillips screw. Don't want to drive the car with this loose because it'll go into the tire and you'll ruin it. And I think they're about 60 bucks now, so you don't want to do that. If you got to drive the car, tie it up somewhere so it's not going to come out and hit the tire. So up in the front here, the radiator support is, of course, is in. The radiator, the condenser, we've already covered that. This is a little plastic panel right here, and this basically is what they give you at the factory. The crash bar, and then you have this other little plastic valence panel right here. So, it's not really much to it, but anyway, that's what's been done. And as you know, this car was hit pretty good up in the front corner, so I think it's going to live to see another day. Anyway, that's about all I had for you. Oh, one thing I want to go through: when you locate this all up, there's a nut underneath this little blind relief here. There's a nut, and that needs to be loosened if you're going to move this fender out. So you've got this bolts the fender in. This I just have laying in here. This actually goes into this side, and then that's one of the bolts right here. Here's one. There's one right here. There's another one down in here, and then there's one right here underneath this panel. And I think there's another one there on the lower side, and one on the bottom. So that's how to get the fenders off. They're not too terribly bad, and you've got 2 bolts right here to take that off of the frame support. So anyway, not too bad to change fenders on these. They're not that expensive. So one other thing, these are very, very difficult to get out without breaking them. So, you know, you may have to buy a new one. They're usually less than 10 bucks. They're not too bad, but they're easy to break. So anytime I've taken them out, they always break. Other than that, though, everything else is coming together pretty good. And, you know, I hope if you're working on your Fiat, your experience has been good. And the purpose of this video is just kind of help you and show you some of the things that, you know, that I do sort of in my spare time. I have a channel called Fiat of Greenville. And if you go to YouTube, Fiat of Greenville, you can become a subscriber for free, hit the like button, all that stuff, as they say. And I've got nearly 1,000 subscribers, so you know, really appreciate that. And you know, all the information is free, and so hopefully it'll help you if you have a little project you've got to do. Now I'll put this little panel back in. As you notice, there's one clip missing. I'll put one in that's it's pretty much the same thing, and it snaps in. And then you have your little bar that comes down here on the top, like this piece of trim. So you put this on first, and then you put this little bar in, and you're good to go. They're called flags. If you ever have to find one that's called a flag, I don't know why they call it a flag, but you know, if you're at your parts counter, that's what you call it. I'll put this valence panel back in and make sure it's nice and clean in there, and get all that buttoned up. And by the way, this is of course, make sure that these vents are clean, and I think we've already covered that. There's 2 drain plugs right there. They're not really a plug, they're like a little rubber oblong fitting in there. So just make sure you get all the debris out you can. There's the windshield washer hose coming up. So anyhow, other than that, we'll have this thing back together and going down the road here shortly. I know it's this car's kind of winking at you right now, but it won't be winking for long. So we'll get this thing buttoned up and get it back down the road. So I hope you're having a great day, and thank you for watching. And so we'll see you with video number 5. This is number 4. Have a great day. Oh, and by the way, here's my contact information right here. There's my email, and I'm on Eastern time. So, you know, if you got a quick question or comment, certainly would appreciate you putting it on there, and we'll go from there. So thanks so much. Have a great day. We'll see you soon with video 5. Ciao.